Welcome back to the channel, folks. I'm your host, Fogg. Thank you for joining another episode here on Battle Gamers. And today, we're taking a look at the Infinity Game Table from Arcade1up. This is one of those things that's right up my alley. It's kind of like a gimmick, right, in that sense. But it's a unique way to play games. And the games that we're talking about are board games, although they're digital board games. This is a touchscreen table. It's 32 inches. It's available right now only at Best Buy. It is from Arcade1up though, but they don't sell it on their site. This unit right here, it says it comes with 30 plus games, but in Arcade1up product fashion, Best Buy says it comes with 40 games. We'll see what it actually comes with. It is a device that's Wi-Fi connected. It is a touchscreen. Some people were saying it's a big Android tablet. It could be, right, in that sense. It does offer the ability to play 1 to 6 players. It has that Wi-Fi connectivity, so you can even play over the network or over the internet. And it's also got the ability to download future games, which is the most interesting thing to me, but it's also the most dubious. Working in the game industry and understanding licensing and understanding what it takes to run a store, you can't really guarantee everything up front, especially for a product like this, which is brand new. There's only 2 of these. There's a 24-inch and a 32-inch. They've just launched, and I'm very curious to see how long Arcade1up can convince developers to build games for this if the install base is very small. I haven't seen a lot of people saying that they were going to buy this. I've seen just very few YouTubers kind of hit it up. There was a Kickstarter campaign for this that ran late last year, and everybody started to get their stuff, I think, earlier this summer. I believe there was a few channels, maybe Kongs R Us might have picked one up or something like that, and he and his family did a video on it, kind of like an unboxing and that. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to tear this down and then review it and see what, you know, my thoughts are here for the channel. But I'm very interested in it. I do hope that they can support this, but it might be a little bit of a tough sell. Right now, I believe the games are Hasbro, and there's one other developer that had at least made some games for the Kickstarter, but I'm not 100% sure if they're included in this. This is where that 30 and 40 game confusion, you know, Best Buy saying 40, the box actually saying 30, might come into play here. But we'll open it up, we'll take a look at it, get final thoughts, see if it's a product other people would want in their homes. So stay tuned. Okay, trusty knife. It looks like we're dealing with a box in the box. This is the way it was shipped. Best Buy started selling these on the 15th of August. That was when they said it released. I tried to get one at the store, had pre-ordered it, didn't come through. They couldn't guarantee like any date that it was going to be, show up at the store to pick it up. And there was no other stores to pick them up from. So it looked like it was only going to be a shipped product. Maybe they made a mistake. But ultimately, I canceled that, reordered it, and that was on Monday, the 16th, and it showed up today, which is the 18th of August. So let's take a look at it, see what's in here. Pretty excited about it. Now, they do, on their website, Arcade1up says that there is a 14-day refund or return policy for any reason. And I imagine that goes through Best Buy in that sense, since they're the only ones selling it. So it's going to be a little bit loud here. They got it packed well. Yep, it is a box in a box. So dual box it. The handles were not the greatest. I tried grabbing it at the post office, and it didn't really work all that well. And this thing is going to slide out slowly here. It's heavy. I don't know how heavy it is. Maybe 70 pounds? Something like that. 70 pounds maybe. Move that over here. And it's got like, they like to protect the box itself. It's got like this really nice plastic around it. That kind of goes through a little bit more. The price on it was $8.59 shipped, free, plus tax, and that was for the 32-inch. The 24-inch, I believe, is $6.49, free shipping as well. And overall, this just kind of talks about everything we kind of ran over. 1 to 6 players, Wi-Fi enabled. There's already games in there, but you can download more. I'm not sure how many are actually going to be in here and if there are extra to download. Now, there's also a caveat to games in this. There's coloring books. They say there's comic books. And I believe there's some other activities that can be done on the table that might kind of be in the middle of all of that. It does have tactical feedback. It's impact water resistant. It's got a portable design. You can take the legs off. It's meant to be like a coffee table, but you can take the legs off and like stick the whole unit on a table so everybody could sit at chairs and play on a table. It's a high-res screen. I'm not sure of the resolution. I think they're saying HD. I would guess to say 720p, but I will verify that. It'll be somewhere here in the video. It also has no subscription fee, and they want indie developers to support it. So again, it'll be interesting to see if this thing continues to get support. And I don't know how long that takes to really kind of start showcasing. Maybe they'll have new games delivered weekly. Maybe they'll have, upcoming games in the store. We'll see once we get it open and powered up. The unit, I believe, is pretty simple in the sense of, and it's a nice box, right? I believe we're just dealing with some legs, a power cable, and I gotta lift it back up to get this thing open. Here we go. It's a little stuck on the end. They put some kind of glue in there, and it seeped down the edge here. There we go. Now the Kickstarter one had the ability to be run off of a battery as well. I don't know if this one will. It says it has to be plugged in or should be is playable via a cable or something like that, some kind of terminology that you have to plug it into an outlet. So I'm hoping that it does have that option as well. I'd kind of find it weird that the Kickstarter model offered that at a certain level, and then the ones that you would purchase wouldn't have that feature. It seems really strange. The unit's heavy. There is no doubt about that. It's got some beef to it. And now it does have speakers on the underside. I'm gonna try and get this unit out, and we'll take a look at it. It has your power brick there. It doesn't look like, no, it does have the spot for the battery. I don't know how it would power. There was no battery that came with it, but it does have the spot. So they kept the same design, which is interesting. And yeah, it's hefty. So I'm gonna set that here. We'll take a look at what else is in the box, and then we'll kind of show the setup. So it's packed well. Got nice foam pads. Looks like got a nice big thing of dry pack or whatever to keep moisture out. Manual, I take it. Here are some clips, it looks like, maybe for the legs. And I take inside of this will be the legs. And again, not a ton of stuff to worry about here. There's really only, 3 main pieces to the whole unit, it looks like, which setup should be kind of easy and simple. Well, 4 if you count the power brick. And here's one leg. It would be interesting to see if you could get like some wooden legs or make some. I'm pretty sure you could, because that's what we have here. We kind of have wood, not metal, as our fixtures in the house. But that's it, 2 legs and some foam blocks and a box. That's really it. I mean, there's not much to it. So let me clear all this up, and then we'll go ahead and start assembling it. We'll show that, and then we'll power it on. Okay, at this point, we're pretty much ready to go. I figured it would be easiest to flip it upside down, but two other things we got. Looks like a little thing with maybe the instruction manual, the power cable, and then there's these things here, which I haven't just just a quick look at it. I don't know where they go. But let's take a look at this really fast. See what's in here. So looks like a registration code, QR code. A little pop-up book style info sheet. Essentially it looks like the little table here. Signed by, what, two people? Scott Bacharach, which I believe is the owner of the company, 1UP, and Jerry Cummings. So must have been their idea. You got some stickers. The quick start guide. Okay, so it's pretty much tells you what you got. So there's card blocker and card blocker stands. That's what these things are. And then these must be the card blockers. So I take out something to put on the table to hide maybe what you're doing from another player. It's got a couple coasters and a wipe down cloth. So you got drink coasters and a wipe down cloth. The drink coasters are cardboard. They're not plastic. Nothing is not saying it's cheap, but it would have been nice to see plastic ones because I'm sure that these will eventually get bent or something like that. Just basically it does take, and I'm going to be zooming in on this. You got your volume control, your on-off, USB port 1 and 2, and then a micro SD slot for extra memory. And then it does talk about the external battery holder. Battery's not included. I haven't seen where they're selling it, but I'm sure that you could find something that would work for it. It's a 12-volt battery with 5 amps. That's what you need. So I'm sure that there's a way to get a hold of that. You got your two legs going on, and one set of legs here looks like it has like a cable management system. Yes, this set does. That has like these little black cable managements. So they're going to go, I take it where the cable is over there. And then that's pretty much it. And then you just turn it on. So let's go ahead and get these legs on. So this is a side without the cable management. And I'm taking it that it doesn't really matter. Well, I don't know that as a fact. No, it looks like it doesn't really matter. So we are just going to stick one set of legs in here, like so. Hear them click. It has like, what would you call that? These pressure sensitive locks that, you know, pop in and out. I'm trying to think of something that reminds me of what they would have been on. Like an umbrella would have, right? Where you push it up and it locks in and you press the little metal button in to pull, you know, to release the hold on it, and then it can fold down. That's what they remind me of. And this side has the cable management, so I take it goes over here. The cable was already connected to it, which is an interesting way of shipping it. It's just a simple cable that unplugs, so I don't know why that wasn't just separate. It says, please do not remove wire from clip. Okay. And then we just stick these down here, apply some pressure until you hear it click. And then this will allow this to route kind of down that leg and then to an outlet. Now, fortunately, here at Riverwood House, we have outlets in the floor, in the middle of the floor for like lamps. It's an older design, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, this will kind of just route down that way. So that's it. Let's flip this thing over. I had it on a blanket as well, just so it didn't scratch the screen at all. But there is that big protective film on the table, so it shouldn't have scratched it. Stick that there, and then we'll pull this kind of back over this way. And I think that's it. That's the table right there. Let me move some stuff around. I'll go ahead and plug it in right now with the included AC adapter, and we'll see what it looks like starting up. Actually, you know what? I'll reposition the camera so it's kind of looking straight down on it, and then we'll start it up. So give me 1 sec. Okay, so first things first, gotta do the removal of the film. This thing is pretty hefty duty. I don't think I'll ever do a device like this large again. Lots of static. Ow, I just got shocked. God, it went everywhere. All right, it even set off my Alexa. So now we'll go ahead and plug it in, and we'll check out what this thing looks like as it boots up. And I don't know if I have to press on or what. Nope, there it goes. So this is the boot up. Now, I may cut my audio just to let this thing kind of do its work. We'll record it, we'll fast forward what we need to, see what we have to do for setup, and yeah, just check out the unit after this. Okay, the interesting thing here right off the bat is it only supports 2.4 gigahertz networks. It's not pulling up my 5 gigahertz network on here. So let me go ahead and put in the info for that, and then we'll jump right back in. All right, so that's in. I don't really think it's going to take a 5 gigahertz network anyhow, just due to everything that you're not necessarily streaming video or anything like that as far as I know, so 5 gigahertz probably is unnecessary at this point. But 2.4, we'll see how it works. It's doing its download now. This is probably the dashboards, updates, things like that since it was shipped from the factory. I am interested to see if there's, games actually to download in the catalog, or if it's just going to be an empty storefront for now, or just some, test items. I take it that at some point, if they're going to sell additional games for this, it's going to be a purchase with a credit card, some kind of e-shop, something built into the platform. They could probably also do it the way that AtGames does it, where you pay for things separately, and then all it is a download on here. Okay, so once a email, looks like it's doing a reset. So once an email, password to sign in. I don't have an account, so let me go set that up really fast, and we'll get that done. Okay, now we're all loaded in, and it's basically tapping on your profile. After I set that up, that was all done on the table. It took no time at all. Let's go ahead and close that. There's me up in the corner, and I take it these are the games that are already on the unit. It looks like there's a download. It looks like they're not downloaded on here, but they're kind of set into it. And this is the storefront, which is kind of interesting. You've got like backgammon, chess, boots and boxes, or dots and boxes, men's Morris, 9 men's Morris. I don't know what that is, 9X men's Morris. Battleship, Shoots and Ladders. That was something as a kid played. Fling Hockey, Operation, obviously another Hasbro title. Candyland. Some of these are going to be for younger children, younger crowd. Maybe there's some people that carry that over. Connect 4, Checkers, Monopoly, Othello, Mahjong, Pirate Battle, Scrabble, Simon, Puzzle Play. This looks like there's some more loading in. Solitaire, that's one my wife wanted. That's the whole reason she wanted to play on this thing in the first place, which is kind of funny. That's the only reason why I ended up getting this, is because my wife doesn't like video games or doesn't play them. Whether she likes them or not, she likes me. I like video games. My son likes them. but you know, we all have different tastes, and hers is not playing any kind of game other than something like a board game or solitaire, and solitaire was a demand, so I'm glad it has that on here. There's Spider Solitaire, Space Tennis, Sorry, Sudoku, which is always great, Super Word, Smash Basketball, maybe? I don't know what that one says. Tablecloths, Tic-Tac-Toe, let's see, Triple Solitaire, Trivial Pursuit, Whack-A-Mole, What's the Word, Yahtzee, and that looks to be about it right now. So obviously they could update this. The table is connected. We could see more stuff being downloaded. But if we look at this right here, let's go all the way back. So right there we see 16 games, you know, 4 by 4. So 16. Let's get rid of the other ones. So there's another 16. So there's 32. And there's 33 games on. So there's not 40. There's 33. And the box said 30 plus. So we'll go ahead and give them a little bit of a break on that. But it is showing some coming soon over here. So Hungry Hungry Hippos. There's the Game of Life, which I thought was already on here, that you could download. Maybe it's not on here yet. Nope, it's not. So coming soon. So there are going to be some other things. I take it what they'll do is they will give you access to the demo or give you access to the game. It might be limiting. You know, I'm still curious if how limited this is, and you know how they would do the actual purchase, because there's nothing here that's said anything about like putting in a credit card. So it could be something online that you do and then you download it. Who knows? But while we're here, let's go ahead and try a couple. So you gonna play a game with me here, Howie? You gonna help test? So we'll download some, we'll come back, and then we'll do like a little play over while we're recording. Okay, so we've got a couple things downloaded here already, but wanted to show a little bit of that. So we'll download Simon. If you click on that, it takes you to another info page, which basically just tells you, you know, the memory, or, you know, what type of game it is. It's a memory type game. Here's the features. You can scroll up and down between there, and it tells you what the other features are in terms of like its multiplayer. Does it have online multiplayer, or any of that information? And then once you think that's one you want to grab, you tap Get, and it'll start the download process. Now our internet's kind of slow here, which is just unfortunate in one way, but fortunate in another, because our Starlink shows up tomorrow, which we'll probably do a little bit of a video on that. Yes, it's not a video game video, but online is a necessity for video games anymore, so we'll definitely talk about that, do a little showcase on the speed and what we think of it. But that's an exciting thing for us. But yeah, we're working off of a pretty slow connection. So this is going pretty fast. This is, you know, these games are not massive. So there we go. The game's downloaded, installed, shows up here in our selection. So now we can check this out. Howie is going to help us do a little bit of this. So we've got Tic-Tac-Toe, Whack-A-Mole, and Battleship kind of downloaded. So you want to do some Battleship first?
Yes.
All right, let's check that out. And I'm not sure which way we're going to be playing. If you're going to need to be on this way, or I would imagine it being long ways. That's what I would think. But it does have a volume up and down, and we'll see how high. It's pretty loud.
I don't think you need.
No, we'll turn it down. I was just trying to see how loud it was. There we go.
I don't think you need sound for board games.
Well, immersives, you know. Play, saved, connect, so there is a connection for online. Let's go ahead and tap play. House rules. I think we're going to be good. So I think you just choose like your character design and just drag it over.
Okay.
So person, you go ahead and grab yours. I think you drag it to the circle. And yep, hit start.
Oh, you can put computer on.
Yeah, you could play instead of it is 1 to 6 players. So again, certain games are going to have more players than others. So I guess it is this way. So it's first for you. and you can rotate the screen. Let's see. Rotate with, oh no, that's to rotate the actual unit. So I think you're the first one to set yours down.
Yeah.
And I believe I've got to turn my back.
Yeah.
So,
How? Let's see.
go ahead. Do you want me to go ahead and do it first?
No.
Okay.
It's just,
I think you just grab and drag them over.
just the way you have it.
Yeah.
But
I've got my back turned. And we'll see how this works out. I'm not 100% sure if you had to turn your back, but why wouldn't you? Because I would know exactly where you're putting your items.
it's your turn now.
Okay.
Oh, and then it switches like that.
Oh, okay. So
So
basically, we
it's
should be
supposed to be-
playing this way. So do you want to scoot around there, and I'll scoot around here? Okay. Now turn your back. And ready. Okay. Go ahead. Your turn. Your fleet. So that should be your
So,
guy.
Is it your turn?
I think it's yours because it's facing you.
But that's on yours. So I was just.
So now it's my turn. Yeah.
Oh.
So now we've got it. Okay. And then it just flips back and forth, leaving a little indicator where you had dropped one. You felt the table. It vibrated like the floor. That's cool.
My first actual hit, I hit one.
I missed. Now you're gonna try to figure it out, huh? Which direction? Eventually you'll get it pretty quick. I can't even remember how I laid it out. I just did it really fast. Nothing. Boy, it's got a
Yeah.
tactical feedback. It vibrates on this side. It doesn't feel like it vibrates over here. Yeah, it's mainly on the I guess the side that the power outlet's on. I'm gonna try to feel that.
Is this your back?
Yeah. Nice. So it does have settings up here. And let's see, you got your how to play, game controls, dashboard, the vibration you can turn on and off, and then your home button. What is that one? Solve mode? Or no,
Households can be changed before.
salvo. And then you can turn the music on and off. But we'll just go back to the dashboard. We're done playing that. Interesting thing will be, though, I want to go back to that game to see if it saves the state
Yeah.
of where it is. So let's do a simple one next. Tic-tac-toe. And we'll do 2-player. Yep. Go ahead.
There's different sizes.
I never thought about that, but there could be. Let's do 3x3, and we'll go first to three victories.
Okay. You want to go?
Yeah, I'll go first. So I'm X. This is where it always gets to be. Nobody wins. All right, play again. This is a very simple game. We might have to go first to 1 victory. I gotcha. Woo.
Wow.
All right, so that's tic-tac-toe. So let's go ahead and jump out. Again, you hit the little gear icon, You go to your dashboard. Now, let's jump back into Battleship and see if it saves the state where we were. Because that'll be nice. That's a nice feature because I like to skip around in games or between different things, right? If I get bored of something, I jump to something else. So what's that say? Oh, that's just a hint. The gear icon. Okay, let's do saved. Yeah, see. Oh yeah, there it is. So we can just keep playing right where we left off. And it auto-saved because we didn't do anything. We just exited right out. So that's nice. So, okay. Let's jump out. We'll do one more game here for the video. And what do you want? Simon or Whack-A-Mole?
I don't care.
Let's do Simon. Let's see how that goes. That's a memory game. I mean, you grew up in the world of digital entertainment. Did you ever play Simon? Like an actual unit? Like it was
not the physical.
No, not a physical thing. All right, let's see. So Simon says create or multiplayer.
Create.
I don't know. Go ahead and tap it.
Maybe like a lobby.
Oh, do we have to create the puzzles?
I don't know.
Oh no.
Do you?
I don't know.
What?
What's that say? Subsequent one. Let's go ahead and quit. Let's do multiplayer and just see. Grab your color. I'll be green. All right. Oh, so it's only the... Okay. Sweet. It's like, wow. Or I guess you should be touching that one. Okay, so green. Okay, that's how it works. Got it. I think we've shown we've destroyed Simon. We'll just continue on forever, but... Oh, good Lord. Oh, screwed it up. So that was Simon as well. So that's all the games we're going to show here, but there's 33 or 34 that I said. Pretty easy to download. Really kind of fun. I think what we'll do is... Thank you, Max. Max! So I think what we'll do here... is go ahead and take a look at some of the other games. We'll come back with final thoughts on the actual table, but you've seen the gameplay. There's not much, probably variations in your mind of what this is going to be. We're kind of seeing it right here. But we will definitely give final thoughts here right after we check out some of the other games and talk it over. So, this has been the only issue I've run into recently over the past 24 hours with the Infinity Game Table. For some reason, their servers are not liking the connection we have here, or there's just I don't imagine it to be too many people trying to hit the servers. I imagine it to be their servers have a timeout mechanism. If it takes too long, and again, we have a bad internet connection here, there could be some scenario where it just cannot finish the download. I have the same thing on the At Games Legends Pinball. I don't know why that one happens. I've worked with At Games. They were not able to fix it. They were able to give me codes for the individual games, but this happened on that like big volume 1 through 4 pack. It couldn't finish downloading, but they did give me like the 1, 2, 3, and 4 pack, and those ones individually worked. They were smaller, obviously, so it could finish faster. Again, we have a different internet connection here. It's not the greatest. It's just basically a little bit above dial-up. Although I don't see this same thing happening on Xbox or on PlayStation Network or on Steam or on, any my Outlook email or anything like that. So I have to imagine and chalk it up to it's a combination of my bad internet connection and some kind of weird server side scenario that both Arcade1up and At Games may have. And it could be something as simple as they're just renting servers. They're not managing their own. It could be something to that, and they don't know about this. So I try to make them aware. I try to send the emails, try to get, some kind of feedback. I will send an email to Arcade1up about this. This may not be what everybody else runs into, but I've had it for the past 24 hours multiple times on multiple games. I have been able to download 23 games, and I'll open that up, to the machine. So there are games working, but for example, one of them, where is it? Chess. There's not a lot of graphics, there's not a lot of assets or anything that it has to download, but it failed probably 15 or 20 times and then was able to complete today out of nowhere. There was no reset of the modem or of the router or anything like that. It just worked and it finished up. So why that happens, I'm not 100% sure. It's happened to me. I have not seen anybody else seeing this, but that's just a little bit of an advisory that, hey, this thing has had some failures. The other games here, I'm not 100% sure if I've tried all of them, but I've tried like Puzzle Play, and I've tried Guess Who and Sorry, and those ones have failed. I'll continue to keep trying them, see if they actually do better. We are getting our Starlink today. Sometime this weekend, it'll be up and running, so we'll have a much better internet connection. I'll test it again, see if that works. The other side of this is the updating system, as far as I can tell, is a completely automated solution. There's nothing you have to do to go in and like hit update or, bring in new games through the store. Funny enough, I woke up today and Guess Who, and I believe it was Hungry Hippos is somewhere around here. I've already downloaded that one. Hungry Hippos, that and that Raceway Grand Prix just showed up in the store. They were there. You could hit them, start the download. Again, I was able to get all 3 of those ones to download correctly, but it did take multiple times of trying to get, going in and pressing the get like this right here to be able to download, and then it would fail out. Now it could work this time. It just really depends. There hasn't been a rhyme or a reason in terms of when they fail or when they complete. It just is one or the other, and usually most of them have failed like at 8%, 40%, and I've seen one as high as like 90% fail, but then, the other ones have gone through with no problem. Oh, here comes Yoda. Oh, don't step on the... Yeah, he's found another table that he can now sit on, just like the pinball table, and get in the video. So this one, it's working. It looked like it was going to stall, but it may go through now. We'll wait and see. We'll fast forward it here if we have to. So Guess Who actually went through and downloaded, so that's a good sign. Maybe there was something on their side that they're fixing. This is roughly around 3 o'clock the next day, and everything's now downloading just fine. So we've had it almost 24 hours and had a chance to look at it. So just wanted to give everybody that. Now back to the final thoughts. So, final thoughts on the Infinity Game Table. Personally, I like it. Not because I paid for it and, I have to live with my purchase. I actually enjoy it. I've spent about 24 hours toying around with it. Not full 24 hours, just one day in between there. My wife's had a chance to take a look at it. My son and I played on it. Everybody kind of agrees it's interesting. Now, my son, being 17, he's like, well, some of these games feel like kind of kiddish games, or I'm not really old enough to really enjoy playing solitaire or Sudoku, right? He wants to see games like Ticket to Ride, or I think it's House on the Hill, or like Mansions of Madness, or something like that, right? Which they may never get that. They might get Ticket to Ride because they've showed it, but they may never get to those level of games. But there's an opportunity to. There's plenty of memory in this machine. I've been able to download 23 games. As I said, there was some ups and downs with some of the downloading, but been able to get 23 games on here. They all have varying degrees of quality to them. The Hasbro stuff obviously is going to be probably the best quality, truest to what you would imagine in terms of the games. The other indie projects or Infinity kind of exclusives like Fling Hockey or Space Tennis or Raceway Grand Prix, those are built with various tools like Unity or something like that. So your quality is decent and the portability's there. So you could see games coming over from mobile onto this, big mobile phone, essentially, big mobile device. It's actually a little bit more than that. The haptics are cool. You saw some of that when Howie and I were playing it. There's a solid build quality to this. The one thing I would say that there's going to be some pros and cons. Pro is it's an appliance. It works like an appliance, and what I mean by that is you just walk up and you want to play Scrabble, you just tap Scrabble and it starts, right? There's nothing really more to do. It's not like a video game console you may have to navigate through and find stuff. Like everything's one page, everything's on the front there. You just tap on it. It's very, right, straightforward. You hit start, you just move your tab down, move somebody else here and hit start, and that's it. It'll lead you right through and the game starts and you know how to play Scrabble. So it's like a board game. You just don't have to pick up the pieces. I get that marketing lingo that they're using or language that they want to put out there is, you don't have to put anything away, and it's completely true. So there's Scrabble right there and you're ready to go. Its ease of use is fairly apparent, right? It's just right in front of you. There are some cool things. There's some things that they'll need to improve on, but the cool things are you can go in, you can change your desktop. Like if I wanted to see like this metal, it downloads that. If I want to see that wood grain that I had on earlier, I can just click on that, and now I got the wood grain. So you got some customization, which is kind of very limited, very high level stuff, but it's customization. You can go in, you can do your avatars, you can change it up. I was a little kid yesterday, I chose the Monopoly hat today. You have a friends list. Now, the one thing they could improve here is, how do I find friends? Unless I'm aware somebody has this, there's no way for me to find friends. So obviously there's got to be some kind of forum or something that I could go to find this. If anybody sees this video, I think all you need is my handle. It's FOG, capital F, lowercase o, capital G, FOG. And go ahead and add me. I'd love to be able to check out some of the online stuff. I don't know anybody else that has one, so I'm not going to really be able to try that here. But I imagine it's going to be decent because it's not like downloading something. It's just, very small commands back and forth. Should be pretty good. But a way to find people that have this would be good, but I understand why potentially they don't have that, because there's small kids that might be using this. You could get some weird instance of some creep on the internet, trying to talk to kids or something like that and, doing weird stuff. I get that, but there could be a middle ground somewhere here. You have the ability to kind of do flip-flop. So if somebody just wants to play and they're sitting on that side, you could do that. And then your count settings, and then it basically goes through the Founders Club from the Kickstarter and all that stuff. But there is no, like I said, update button, which is nice. It does all the updates on its own. As I said, I came here this morning and Raceway and Hungry Hippos, and I think there was one more here that I had said showed up. Oh, it was the Guess Who game. I think it is. I believe it was that. I think it was Guess Who or wherever that thing went. Those just showed up in the store. I was able to click on it and start. Talking about that in terms of a pro, that's kind of nice that there'll just be games that show up, but I'm concerned how they're going to continue to feed this with quality games. And would we get things like Ticket to Ride or Mansions of Madness or something like that? I doubt that one, but in general, how are you going to get quality games to this thing? How are they going to make that model work? Because there's customization work being done here. That's for sure when it comes down to the games. And a developer, if they're porting it from mobile, they might be able to get away with it. But if they really want to put a quality experience in, there may be some specific things they have to do here. And getting them to do that for a very small base, you're talking about the device just launched. Projections, I think, some of the high-end Arcade1up machines have sold tens of thousands of units. That is still peanuts in comparison to the billions of iPhone or the billions of Android devices that mobile developer or that developer could make something for and be able to sell or get money for. How are they going to interest developers into this? I went onto their page. They do have a developer page within the Infinity Game Table site. And it's basically a call out to say, hey, you want to come make something, come on over. We'll figure something out. Not a lot of detail. You got to reach out. You got to put your information in as a developer. It makes me a little concerned that there's not going to be a lot more than the 40 that we see here. Maybe a few more coming down the road. Maybe they get lucky and starts to be really impressive. I don't know. But it's definitely a concern. It's not in the con area yet because, again, that's my opinion on it. It's not the bottom line, right? It could be that they will get a lot of support for it. It is a cool device. Like I said, I'm pretty happy playing this. I was happy that my wife played around with it, and we were able to play some games. She was able to play her solitaire, all that stuff, and had a really good time. I played Sudoku this morning. Just kind of sitting here drinking coffee, watching the news. It's a cool kind of thing. Will my son use it? Depends on what they put on there. Will he and I and my wife, Case, play Scrabble? Yes. Will we play Monopoly? Yes. Those games we'll play together. It might be something that when we're just done with dinner, we kind of sit down and do, or we eat dinner on top of it. I'm not too worried about it. I don't know. It's not glass. It's not like the glass that comes with the pinball table. But it's definitely scratch resistant as far as I could tell. The other side of that is, though, one of the big cons, if you're OCD about fingerprints, cat prints, whatever kind of stuff shows up on a screen from touching it, God help you. This thing, if you've got small kids, I've had small kids. My son grew up. Obviously, he was a small kid, but they don't care where their hands have been or what's on them when they're touching things. This is going to be just a disaster, so you may want to have plenty of cleaner and paper towels hidden underneath of it or somewhere in reach and wipe that sucker down, because you will get prints and finger trails and all sorts of stuff on here. I didn't spill anything on it. I don't know how well it'll react to that. It's pretty sealed. It's basically the glass goes to the edge and it's pretty tight. So I'd imagine if you spilled something, you'd just wipe it up, you'd be fine. You wouldn't want to let it sit on there because who knows? Again, it doesn't feel like actual glass, but it is a heavier unit. Not 100% sure what it is. It would be interesting to find out how resistant it is, but I'm not going to drop anything. I could see, just my luck, video game controller falls out of my hand, lands on here. What's going to happen? That's going to be another question. But in general, the build quality is solid, though. So that's about it. I think that the pros definitely outweigh the cons on this. The con, one of the big things is the price, $850. That's a lot, for a family. Who's the audience for this? A family. $850 though, you could buy a 70-inch TV at Costco probably for that, right? And be able to play all of your consoles and stuff on it. But for each of these board games, you're probably figuring $20 to $30 a piece at like Target. You're getting a few $100s and a couple $100 in games. You're getting a device that kind of does double duty as a table. Yeah, that's not a real big selling point. It's something simple though that kids could walk over and just start playing. It wouldn't take a parent to be involved in it, which is nice. So there's some advantages. Could I see older people playing this? Yes. Older couples like in their 50s, 60s, 70s, those folks play games, right? I know for a fact someone that plays Dungeon Crawler at the age of 91, I think that's right. They were 90 last year, I think, or 91 last year. But they enjoy it. People, no matter what age it is anymore, you can play games. This is kind of cool in terms of hitting that demographic that's above 50, above 60, right? Like that didn't grow up with video games or just right on the cusp, but really enjoy games. This kind of fits that. They could set it in their room. They've got the expendable cash in some cases. And there's games on here that they could play together or play with friends when they all get together. And that's an interesting audience to go after. They can spend the money. Somewhere in between that, family age and retirement age, there's guys like me that have family with older kids. And maybe it's not necessarily something that I would rush out and buy again, or I would rush out and buy, but maybe not everybody my age or same kind of scenario does. I don't really see like 20-somethings that are single buying this thing. It's definitely not that type of market, but, somebody with kids, they're going to like this. The kids are going to be able to run it on their own and have fun with it. So those are my thoughts about it. I'm kind of okay with the purchase. I like the device. I think we'll get use out of it. I'll update on that. If there's new things that come out, I'll let you know. We'll do a short video on like new games that jump on here. But in general, I'm pretty happy, and yeah, we'll probably get a good bit of use out of this. So folks, I hope you appreciate this. Hope you enjoyed watching it. It's just a look at it. There's plenty of people that probably are buying these that will be on YouTube. This is just one person's thoughts on it, but definitely take a look at it, see if it fits your life, and definitely, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We'd love to see you come back, check out more stuff. Give the video a like if you thought it was useful, and definitely leave a comment if you think there's something here that is interesting, or if you think it's like a ridiculously overpriced product. That's fine too. Appreciate it, folks. Have a great day. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.